Denny Blanco, my man, how you doing?
Your dreams have now been fulfilled. You are now rocking with the best. It's in the game. We have a special guest today, Randy. Who do we have here?
That's right, my man Ben Lyons, formerly of ESPN LA, now doing work with CBS LA right now, live in New York City. At I am Ben Lyons on both Instagram and Twitter. Ben Lyons, my man, how you doing?
Appreciate you guys having me back on the show. I feel like Amari. The Knicks are back. The Knicks are back. The Knicks are back. It's that annual time of year, fellas, when
that's right
on fire and everyone says, "Oh wait, the Knicks are back. The Knicks are back. They're kind of good." Well, we know that winter is coming. It's Game of Thrones around here, so we know that there's going to be spells where we say,
"Yeah,
they're oh no, they're not back. Oh wait, oh no, it's a dumpster fire. Oh wait, oh no, they're kicking Spike Lee out of the Garden. Who are we going to get this summer?" Like that is coming. We're not there yet. We're still at the Knicks are back.
Exactly.
3 games.
No, it's been 4. They're 3-1 right now. Unlike your Brooklyn Nets.
I got a question for you. It's often asked when I take the train out to the Barclays Center. Where Brooklyn at?
Yeah, Denny Blanco. Where's Brooklyn at?
We have 45 to an hour. I don't have time to go into what the Nets need. It's the juncture of the show.
Williamsburg looking for squash. That's where they are.
100%. Number one. Number two, just having a clip of Kyrie yell at Ben, shoot the ball, is enough to make me shiver this morning.
I saw that clip and I got flashbacks to high school. Shout out to Ray Vokel, my coach, being like, "Ben, shoot the ball." I'm like, "Oh."
Man, my man Ben got the Knick hat. Denny's the Net fan. No Brooklyn Nets.
We got the real best team in New York right there. The only real team in New York.
There it is.
I love it. You can find Denny Blanco on both IG and Twitter at Sir Denny Blanco. Find myself, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, the letter J C R U Z. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple. Also on ballislife.com. Also youtube.com/ballislife podcast network. So Ben Lyons, again, I know it's very early. Knicks fans get crazy. We're above 500, and then the next 7 games are against playoff teams. So we're going to enjoy this right now. But from outside looking in, being a big-time avid Knicks fan, the 3-1 big-time win last night against Charlotte in overtime. What have you been seeing from this Knicks team, and how much fun do you think this team is having so far right now?
Definitely joy in the building. You love to see it. Starts with OB, starts with RJ, that dentist, whoever he is, he deserves a raise. That kid's got $1 million smile. I love the sensible point guard play. It's really nice. I mean, that's the story of the year so far. Jalen Brunson, worth every penny. Are you kidding me? To have a grown-up professional basketball player? Come on, Blanco. Like, it's just a different vibe at the Garden when, like you said, instead of being in chaos down the stretch or not knowing what to do to run the offense, let's run 2. Let's slow down. We've been here. It's really nice. Also, guys, there's never been player development in our adult lives as Knicks fans. They've never drafted and re-signed. They've never had continuity with the roster. It's 2 years of this guy, 1 year of this guy. We survived the Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox years, and here we are. So it's nice to have gotten some picks right, gotten value out quickly, and Mitchell Robinson getting re-signed on a sensible deal for his capabilities at the rim. So I'm stoked, man. It's early. It's not Halloween weekend. So let's all calm down. But the Knicks are back. Come on, man.
That's right. Denny Blanco, do you agree the Knicks are back? Do you agree?
He hit a lot of points. Like I said, I've watched the first 4 games. I watched them in preseason just to get an idea of what would happen to Randall and RJ's game with another ball handler, another decision maker that literally takes all those those jobs away from him. And you can see the weight drop from Randall and RJ's shoulders. Like, oh, there's another guy over here that I can give him the ball, and he can make a solid decision, make the right pass. I mean, just last night, if you watched the game with the Knicks, I mean, down the stretch, a couple of possessions, Randall's getting a little upset. You got RJ not able to handle the rock. You have literally Brunson come down, set up a play, penetrate, dump it over to Robinson. Then you have him set up on one side, hit a 3. Like, he's not in a rush. You can't make him rush.
It's not sexy either. It's not flashy. It's not top 10. It's all
No,
good.
it's not flashy at all. It's what works. And
Yeah.
Randy and Ben, congratulations. You now have the point guard for the next 4 years that is solid. God bless.
I love it. I love it. I love
Well,
it.
thank you.
Shout out to Charlie Ward. We all know the last first round pick they re-signed before RJ. So it's been a minute, fellas.
Exactly. And I think, Ben, like, you know, I want to circle back when in the summertime, you know, they be like, oh, I hear they want to get Jalen Brunson. I'm not too sure. You as a fan, do you think it was more like the name that the fans didn't want? Was the money aspect? Because now, as we're seeing again, 4 games in, he makes everything easier for RJ Barrett. It makes everything easier for Randall and the whole entire offense. A guy who can score on his own, get other guys involved, can run the whole entire offense, still young. But what was it that made Knicks fans kind of like be 50-50 on him during the summertime?
Yes, he's been to the Western Conference Finals. That's about it in the NBA. Yes, he was a winner in college, but in terms of the NBA, it's not like he's been around for years. So I think there's some familiarity for casual fans, right? It's not sexy. He's not a top 5 point guard in the league. He's really good, but that doesn't necessarily sell back page of the newspaper, right? It doesn't really get the fans hype. But and also, too, $100 million in a time when people are out here struggling sounds like a ton of money, because it is in the grand scheme of life. But in NBA money, it's kind of sensible. It sounds ridiculous, but it's not like they spent 150, 180 to something. Like they got him on a sensible deal. When you see Tyler Hero going for 140, 150, you know, you see Jordan Poole going for 140. Right, he went to Michigan. Shout out to Jordan Poole. But, you know, it's like it's all these factors coming together. He's not a very outspoken, flashy guy, family guy, low-key guy, not going to be dressed like, you know, Denny, you know, Blanco over here at Fashion Week, looking like Amari in the mink. He's not doing all that. So I think it's you know, we also just, it's the history, man. It's not even about Brunson. It's about the fact that they haven't had a top 3 player in the NBA since, I don't know, maybe Walt Frazier. Like they haven't, maybe Pat Ewing in like 89. Like, I don't know. Like they haven't had like the best guy. And I think everybody wants
even that. Carmelo.
You know me. That's,
you know, I love Melo.
You know me. Come on, we could do that. I didn't want this conversation to go down that road.
Randy's always trying to do some dirt.
He did come in 3rd in the MVP voting that year in 2013 when he took the oldest team in the history of the sport to the 2nd round. And then we all celebrated Jason Kidd's 40th birthday at the Garden. He started a 35-year-old Pablo Prigioni. Like,
that's right.
I watched Kurt Thomas and Marcus Camby and Rasheed Wallace play basketball in 2013. Like, the worst constructed team of. It's the biggest waste of someone's prime. Like Melo's 2 years there, where he really was a top 5 guy in the league. I don't think he made a first team though. But you know, I look at the history of the Knicks not landing the guy, and I think that plays into your question about why the fans were a little lackluster this summer. You know what? He showed up at Dykeman and not Hoops in the Sun. That's why the Knicks fans were not excited.
Yo, Ben, don't get me started, please.
Randy,
all up the Dykeman too, but yeah.
Randy,
you know,
with the hesitation with Jalen for me was early. Was only one hesitation. I was like, okay, he's small. You know, height may be an issue.
Which is why the Donovan Mitchell thing didn't make any sense. They just got lost in the sauce on the hype around that. I'm happy that didn't work out, and I wish him a lot of success out in Cleveland.
Oh, I want to touch on that because I'll touch on that because I was going to say, but it looks like Mitchell Robinson obviously helps him a lot with him in the, you know, obviously getting matched up. But when
Hart, don't forget Hart. Shout out to Hardenstein. That guy's a beast.
Too, yeah.
Yes, him too. Well, why didn't you want the Mitchell trade?
No, because that's just like the fast track to 6 seed and that middle of the pack, and you're not getting over the hump. Donovan's amazing, but he's a smaller guard. People forget how short he's, like 6'2".
6'2", 6'1".
You know, and historically, guards of that size have had a difficult time, you know, especially ones who base their game on being so explosive and athletic and even above the rim like him. You know, it's tough to maintain that. You think of Iverson, you think of Russ, you know, there's a lot of kind of combo guards who flame out, right? I think he's going to have longevity, but it's just they're too small back there. Brunson and Mitchell, what does that do for you? It doesn't get you past Miami, past Brooklyn, past Milwaukee, past Boston, past Philadelphia, so I don't mind that it didn't work out for them to mortgage the future. They learned from the Melo trade, Steph Curry said, he's like, we learned from the Melo trade, and he's not Melo. So
Randy, just want to let you know what Ben said. I want the record to show I've been saying that 2 years prior, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, and I think
fans coming together on Donovan Mitchell in the Hall are very good.
Just NBA stuff. I'm the NBA whisperer. I like to sit back and watch this. I like to just sit back and listen to the tea leaves drop and hear what people are saying with different teams. Yeah. And
can you feel that in the winds of Phoenix? Can you see a young talent in Phoenix looking for greener pastures to come east?
Wait, there's a lot of young talent in Phoenix. Which one are you referring to, sir?
Somebody who got into it with Klay Thompson the other night. I don't know. I've been hearing that rumbling for a while.
Somebody who went to Kentucky?
Just put that out there. CAA
like
guy, those guy. Come on. What do you say, Jess? Let's make it happen.
So I guess I'm not the only whisperer hearing whispers in the NBA with the soap opera. Really, Randy?
I think what Ben is saying is like, all right, if I had the same deal for Devin Booker in the summertime, that would be automatic. I'll do it as opposed to Donovan Mitchell.
Hell yeah. It's like Zelda, dog. There's levels. Yeah. We got to get all the pieces of the triangle. So.
Nah, I love the book. I think to Denny's point, the fact that, and also to your point, Ben, the fact that the Knicks are really putting the chips into the young talent and the development of a Mitchell Robinson, of a RJ Barrett. They re-signed both of them. They just, I think 2 days ago, maybe yesterday, they picked up the 4th-year option on Obi Toppin.
What does that mean? Does that mean that they basically are like, we're not going to give you an extension this summer for $60 million? So let's lock you in now. And if we lose you at the end of next year,
something like that, I would say something like that.
Yeah, which is totally reasonable.
Yeah. But I think just them believing in those guys, because even if they did the Mitchell trade, Obi would have been out. Quickly's out of here. Grimes, you're really gutting your roster, but a lot of Knicks fans are really believing in what they have. So I think that's a good thing for the franchise going forward.
Yeah, man. And look, they're always going to be a hot ticket on a Friday night. You know that. You're from tourists from around the world. They're always the Garden's going to have an energy and a vibe. But you want to see moments like last night. You want to see, professional NBA players, not mysteries, not guys who look like me you've never heard of before. How many times you have to watch Jason Smith run up and down the court? You're like, where are
Luke Cornett?
Oh my gosh. Lou Amundsen looking like Thor's stand-in. Like a movie when Hemsworth is shooting Thor, they need to light it. They bring in Lou Amundsen to stand there.
Not Lou.
Guys, stop.
Ooh, man.
Denny Blanco.
Knicks legend Ron Baker. Yeah, they put him.
Listen, we I think we spoke about the Knicks enough. I think I want to. I want to badger the Nets a little bit.
Well said, Blanco. Let's keep this train rolling. I feel.
Yeah. I want to badger the Nets.
Boy.
The first couple of games, obviously everything's evident. They need a big man immediately, like yesterday. Like they can't rebound. Kevin Durant, you're requiring Kevin Durant, who's not a rebounder by nature.
You mean like a Jared Allen type?
The Jared Allen that they let go. Bad move. Then Ben again, Kyrie has to yell at Ben to shoot. Now you're getting paid to play in the NBA. You're getting paid money, good money,
a lot of money,
hundreds of millions of dollars. And another player has to tell you to shoot when you're open. I thought these types of things when he came over from Philly were going to be gone. I really thought so. I think it was I thought it was the environment in Philly that caused this issue. I don't know if that's the case anymore. The NBA whisperer is concerned about his team. Kyrie can only do so much. He's trying to get himself back into playing shape. So technically, you just have a Kevin Durant who looks disgruntled. Really, I'm upset. I'm angry. And I want to jump ship, but I've been jumping ship for so long. I've jumped off the Knicks ship.
Yes, you did.
Real quick, off it.
Yeah, you're on that G train, that ghost train out.
Yeah, I just don't know who to latch on to because of management and because of player personnel. But Randy,
well, you gotta love this. I'll give you some comfort here as you head into November when things a little disarray out in Brooklyn.
Please,
your coach has some passion. Your coach is in it. Your coach
this year,
he's there. He knows
this year.
Yeah, but like he saw last night when to see Steve Nash behave like that
was wild.
Wild. It was really wild. And it also says to me that he's invested, he's all in. It's not going to be because of his lack of commitment or anything. It might be because you trust, a guy with an iced out kangaroo to run your offense. It's kind of a rule to live by. Is just don't trust the guy with an iced out kangaroo, And I don't know what there's any meaning behind that, and I hope there isn't. I hope he just thinks
clarity for our viewers and listeners who don't know. Ben, clarity for the listeners who don't know. Who has the kangaroo pendant?
Come on, man. Come on. Shoot the ball, Ben. Like this man is off in the clouds. Like you said, it's not a Philadelphia thing. It's not like all Philly sports fans are tough. And I've never seen an NBA player of his caliber not have like an outward love of the game of basketball.
But Ben,
he doesn't play with joy. And anyone who ever played basketball smiles when they do something fun or killer or plays the game with, even if you're intense and locked in and Kobe and there's some joy and bounce and life, and he's just dead behind the eyes. It's really
Ben, when was the first time you saw Ben Simmons play?
LSU or some high school footage here and there. And
I'll pull up tape from LSU high school. I didn't see anything different.
LSU, they didn't even make the tournament, or like they weren't even good that year or something. He was just kind of there.
Just floating. He's doing exactly what he did in college right now. I'm not going to get better. I'm not going to get worse. I'm just going to go flatline.
And you know what? He gets money. He has the life. He's good. He's got the house, got the, all the things. And now, to his credit, he was at the Liberty games all summer. So shout out to Ben Simmons for representing the Liberty. Love to see that. But yeah, man, it's like I would never advocate for violence on a team. We just saw in Golden State how it's not a positive situation. But if someone punched him in the face, it might do him good. I wouldn't condone that. I'm not suggesting that. It's a bad idea. But maybe it would work. I don't know. You just want to be like, yo, come on. Like, just
like wake up.
Well, there's that that's not there for him.
I think Embiid stepped to him many times.
That guy's eating grapes on a training table before a playoff game. So like let's not think of
it
as this.
Right. So Ben's looking at Joel, and Joel's like, yeah, I may be eating grapes, but at least I score what I need to. At least I'm doing my job. Like,
Did you say all that? And Joel Embiid, everybody loves him. He's an awesome dude and a great player. But do you think if you look at his time in Philadelphia, the team has achieved what the expectations were for Joel and the potential that everyone's seeing in him? Not even close.
No,
it has nothing to do with Ben Simmons.
And I told Denny on a previous show, when it comes to the playoffs or who's top four, whatever, Philly is always that one team that I can't trust. I can't predict. I would love for them to go to the conference finals to get over that hump, but I'm like, I just don't know. Can they beat Miami? Can they beat Boston, Milwaukee, maybe Brooklyn? I just don't know. That's the question mark team. And some people have them in the finals or conference finals. I'm like, I don't know.
It's a larger conversation around, success and potential, and especially in our society that you can make a lot of noise and get a lot of eyeballs, and you can do something great once. But the idea of consistently doing something, right? Adding that routine, adding that reliability, dependability, like there's so much success in that. And like, that's where success is doing it again and doing it again after that. And one more time. And then again after that. So they can have flashes and everybody can go viral once and everybody can, have a moment, but to score 20 points a game for 14 straight years like Melo did, like every single night, to go into for Boston and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Those guys are just professionals. Jimmy Butler, it's just like another level. And Philadelphia, Brooklyn, this incarnation of them, is haven't done it. Like, look at Giannis in terms of consistency. That guy, you worried about him in the playoffs? You worried about Milwaukee? You think, oh, they're not going to get over the hump? No, like, this dude is a difference, and I don't think Joel's at that yet.
Right.
You mentioned Giannis. Go ahead, Randy. You mentioned Giannis, and I'm just like,
yeah.
These folks are. Shout out to James Harden because Giannis has no talent.
Yeah,
Giannis, if I was big,
so happy we're doing this show today and not the day after the Knicks and Bucks, because I feel like Friday night out in Milwaukee a little dicey. Putting that out there.
Hey, I just saw the Brooklyn Nets get cracked by Giannis. Giannis had I think 10 or 11 at half, something to that effect.
Then he had 35 in the second.
Yeah. Come on, man.
Yeah,
it's different, right?
Exactly.
What's interesting is something I've gotten some some conversations about over the years. Is like, if you had a guy, Giannis is a 2-time MVP, but let's say you had another like 2-time MVP, you would expect that guy to win a playoff series, to get to the conference finals, so it's like, all right, you got Murray back, you got Porter back. What's up, Jokic? Like, what are we doing here? I mean, he's killer. What's up? Like, 2-time MVP, you got your guys back. I feel like it's Denver's time. Like,
exactly.
It should be, or the pressure should feel like it is, and the attention should be like, what are we doing here?
That's right. But even with those two guys back, when you ask fans or media people, like, all right, who was the biggest threat to the Warriors? They're putting the Clippers above the Nuggets.
Memphis Clippers.
So it's like,
it's like, it's really weird for a 2-time MVP to be flying under the radar in terms of all the expectations, and
because he's in Denver. If he was in LA, if he was in New York, if he was in Miami, it'd have been like.
People are calling for Luka to go and do things, and Luka should be winning now. LeBron got to the finals at 22. Like, where are you, Luka? And it's like, yo, this man's a 2-time MVP in the prime of his career. Like, let's see it, man. Let's see it. Let's not push a Morris twin. Let's not, go out there and get ejected in elimination playoff games. Like, let's go out there and like take it to the next level, because he's that next level talent. So
like, I don't know who you had, but before the year started, the season, we MVPs, we obviously Giannis is always in the convo, but me and Denny were leaning toward Luka as being the guy. John Moran is going to be in the conversation as always. Who did you have coming into the season as like, all right, this is my guy for MVP this year?
Honestly, it was Kevin Durant. I really thought this guy was going to come out here, play 70+ games, score 30 a night, take Brooklyn to a top 2 seed, and just remind everyone that he's the best player in the world. In 2021, when they had the Olympics in Tokyo and he was healthy and had missed some time before, but was able to play in the Olympics, everyone was like, oh, Olympic Durant, he's the best player in the world. So I would have loved for him to get a second MVP in Brooklyn. I still think he might. It's like, it's go time. This is it. It's the prime of your career, 34. Jordan won some MVPs at that age, I think, right? Karl Malone, guys like that. I mean, so let's do it. Kevin Durant.
I mean, I love KD. I think he could be MVP, but I just don't know, man. Brooklyn's always up and down for me.
No,
even the Net fan telling me no.
And reliability, and shout out. It's like, shout out to KD, but man, if you give me 65 games, I'm playing with house money. Then, like, I can't expect this man to be playing more than 60 games at this stage in his life and career, which sucks. And that's got nothing to do with him. It's just the way it goes. So I hope he can get a full season out.
Yeah, and I think the pressure is there. A little pressure is there on Brooklyn too. Because everybody's back healthy. Ben Simmons is back. Joe Harris is back, and a little pressure on Steve Nash to try to get a better season out of him.
Is Allie Love back, or is she big time now? Is she too big doing the arenas? Allie Love? No, she too big time. She's on commercials. She's on TV now. She's in movies.
Yeah,
she's too big for that.
So a lot of people have this team either in the finals to be in it, or to win it, or conference finals. How far you see BK going?
From what I've seen so far from Ben Simmons, as Mr. Blanco will attest, I see them having a similar fate to last year. As many playoff wins as the New York Knicks. Like, Ben Simmons is just a disaster. It's a disaster. I'm sorry. And it's not a personal attack, just from a basketball point of view. Like, it just doesn't have it. So
I want to give him 25 games.
I
want to give
don't
him 25 games.
I don't expect
Yeah.
I don't expect the Brooklyn Nets to do much more than a first round, maybe a second round exit. First round now. I mean, I love what Boston is about, and Jaylen Brown and Tatum they showed it in the last series against Brooklyn. So what's going to happen this spring? Like, it's just a different level right now.
It's gonna be Pac-Man.
And
Yeah, no doubt.
And Ben, keep it real. The Knicks, are we in the top 6? Are we in the play-in?
Guys, my goal for this team was Charles Oakley wins. I wanted 34 wins for this team. It's not even November, okay? I had a nice little grazed papaya, egg and cheese outside, and a coffee outside. I just needed a t-shirt. I just need a t-shirt. So we're still in warm weather, okay? I'm not going to sit here and be like, the Knicks are making the playoffs.
Right.
34 wins, anything more than that for a 500 basketball team, and they're in the play-in stuff. They're a 9 seed, and you have one game. Or great, fantastic. It's almost like, are we seeing development? Are we seeing RJ really take a next step? Are we seeing Toppin and quickly as part of the long-term future, or just nice guys and see you when we have to pay you? So
right.
Player development to me is more of a goal than winning any playoff series.
Right. So before Denny goes, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. So I know you're a Knicks fan, but you have some ties with the Lakers, and you go to a lot of games. So if that was your second team, no problem. What annoys you the most? The fact that the Lakers always get off to a slow start, there's always trouble, always question marks, or the fact that the Dodgers win 100 games every year but can't win a championship, except for the 2020 40-game season, whatever that was. What annoys you the most?
It's the Dodgers, man. They're turning into the Braves of the 90s. They're the Braves West. Like, it's what are you going to do? You win 111 games, and then over 3 fateful nights in Southern California, the Padres, your arch rivals down south, you don't even pay attention to, really. They just go out and just kick your shit out of you. Like, it was awful. I'm a big Dodger fan. Everybody knows I'm a Laker hater. I did work for the station that carries them for 10 years. So it was always fun to poke them during their troubles. And it was a very surreal night at the Crypto 2 years ago when Melo became 8th all time on the scoring list, and the entire Lakers crowd was chanting like, Melo. Yeah. I started crying. I was weeping. The Lakers are a mess. And it's fun when they are in Los Angeles, because all the fair weathers put the flags back in the cars, and they just, they go to the beach, and they're so entitled. They have so much winning. I mean, guys, we're all around the same age, right? Happy birthday to you. Another solar return, my man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But it's like, people our age, they fell in love with basketball because of the Showtime Lakers. So when you're 8, 9, 10, and you're falling in love with the game, you get Magic, Kareem, Michael Cooper, Michael Thompson. Wow. Then when you start to watch the games on your own with your friends, and maybe you're drinking something, maybe you're smoking something, you're watching Shaq and Kobe and, we're winning titles, Derek Fisher. And then when you're a little older and you have money and maybe you take your kids to the game, or you have Kobe and Powell, and it's just every maturation point for our generation is paired with Lakers success, right? So I have no problem with watching them struggle right now. Anthony Davis, talk about somebody who should be a top 5 guy. Come on, bro. This guy's not even in the conversation of anything. The only way he's in the conversation is at Mountain Gate, which is a golf course up Sepulveda on the second hole. You look at his house and you say, that's the line, is AD's house. That's the only time my friends and I, when we talk basketball, we mention Anthony Davis.
Yeah. Ben.
Seriously. So I love it. Trade Russell Westbrook for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, if that's a real thing, or is that just like a Laker
rumor?
It's a rumor, but I'm hearing Indiana wants those draft picks, those first-round draft picks.
Sure. LeBron is here now. You got to figure this out.
Here's a couple things.
Go ahead.
Last year, Anthony Davis coming in.
111 games.
You're talking about injury prone. And obviously he brought you guys a ring. LA, right? But I saw 2 games last year. I saw a game with LA played Milwaukee.
He looked scared that night, yeah.
LA played Milwaukee, and then LA played Minnesota. Against Giannis. Giannis was throwing him around like he wasn't even there. Then I looked at that game. I said, That's a problem.
Yeah,
And then
I remember that.
fast forward, I saw Cat, who normally doesn't do well against AD.
He does well with his sweaters before the game, though. I feel like he loves a nice designer sweater.
I can't with this guy.
He does, right? He's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He gets warm. I guess.
It's cold. Gotta stay warm. He literally put Anthony Davis in his back pocket. Literally. Once I saw those 2 games, I said, all right, Anthony Davis is not the same player anymore. And then Anthony Davis he's now wants to be Kevin Durant. He doesn't want to play in the post.
What's something that's always odd to me about his game, and if you watch him, you're absolutely right. Those were 2 moments from last season or the season before where I was like, that he ain't it. He's always on the ground. Why is he always on the floor? Like he's always on the ground. Like stand up, dude. Get up.
Just stand up.
He's not strong.
Like, get up.
On the ground. It's crazy.
Mhm.
You think he's on the floor? Wait till Victor comes.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
I mean, listen.
Come on, man. This is fun.
Wait till Victor comes. You think he's on the
Listen.
floor?
If we feel like that,
Sounds like a Game of Thrones character. It's like
just imagine how LeBron feels of like trying to getting AD here. Okay, listen. The Lakers once upon a time, Ben, had Randall, D'Lo, Kuzma, KCP, Brandon Ingram, Caruso, Rondo, a whole bunch of players that became all-stars somewhere else, but became valuable pieces. And now LeBron is his fifth year in the Lakers. He got 1 championship, and a guy that, I love AD, but he's supposed to be like, you know what, LeBron, you ain't got to take 25 shots tonight. You ain't got to play 40 minutes tonight. This let it ride on me. But we haven't, for some reason, we haven't seen it. LeBron is playing the most minutes, taking the most shots. LeBron is probably the best shooter they got. And it's like, AD, we traded 5 guys for you. Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, the whole roster.
Let me defend AD.
What's going on?
Let me defend AD. I have an idea. The last time I saw AD really, really, really play well, I mean, phenomenal. Not with LA, with New Orleans. And who is playing next to him in New Orleans? Do you recall? Rondo. That's 1 point. Good, very good point. And who was the other person?
Steven Adams? Was he there then? I don't know. Boogie, that's right.
Boogie.
Yeah, big Boogie down there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it me, or they just want to keep AD at the 5 and keep LeBron at the 4? Hey guys, yoo-hoo. Why don't you get a big to play with AD, push him to the 4, and put LeBron at the 3? Try that, guys.
Yeah. No, it's a fair point. If the man doesn't want to go and be the dominant big man that we all see he has the potential to be, then just let him go frolic on the 3-point line, I suppose.
Yeah, get a big and do that.
It's interesting. It's like, you look at guys like Ben Simmons and Anthony Davis, and we have these high expectations for, who, by the way, have achieved great things in this league and are all-stars and all those things, right? But I wonder if it's a larger conversation around young players who really are invested emotionally, viscerally to take their games to that next plateau, and unlock that Zelda level to get to the princess, right? So I think Anthony Davis loves the life in LA. He's got a nice big house on the hill. He's got his championship. He can say he did it. Like, he's good, and I don't see it. I don't feel it, that he's possessed with this. And I think there's only a handful of guys and that's why they're the guys like Giannis who are always back in the thing.
Well, yeah, I think I call it the Mamba mentality. And even then, it could be a gift and a curse. So, I say, Giannis has it. There's only a handful of guys in the NBA that
Devin Booker has it.
Devin Booker, there you go. There's going to be a handful of guys that offensively,
KD has it. He cares about basketball. He's
offensively and defensively. Yes, you'll see the emotion come out of them. But the curse is Russell Westbrook. See, the curse is.
I mean, it can't all be on him though.
No, let me finish. I'll explain. The curse is with Russell Westbrook. He has the Black Mamba mentality. He will play hard, but unfortunately, at this age of his career, he has not improved any piece of his game. Anyone. So if AD's having a bad game and LeBron's having a bad game, all right, Westbrook, technically you're playing against the second team. Let's be honest. You're getting minutes against the second team, not the first. Really, I mean, that's what I'm seeing.
Mhm.
And it's not so much your shots that you're taking. It's not so much you just started playing defense recently. Recently, you started playing aggressive defense. Your shot selection and your decision making, just Russell in itself. NBA players should not do what he does. Period. NBA players.
Yeah, but and I say that all the time. This is not the appropriate behavior on a basketball court. You guys touch the game on every level. You're out there in the park in the summer. You're watching the NBA in the winter. You're at the W in the summer. Like, you guys love high school basketball. Like, you guys have touched this game everywhere. Do you ever see people go 13 of 43 in elimination games, like 2 of 19 from 3? So like his stat lines are crazy. Like that game against Utah and Oklahoma in Game 6, and there's a reason why he went Houston, Washington, LA. He's bouncing around. Like,
I didn't mind him in Washington.
Balls over the backboard. It's just wild behavior.
I don't mind him in Washington though. Washington was perfect. You got none but young guns.
Mm-hmm.
You need your mentorship. You have the floor is yours. You have the unlimited amount of minutes. I thought Washington was Houston, not so much, but I thought Washington was perfect. But when
it's just wild. Like you said, he's just not the evolution of the game. He doesn't have a new skill set, something like a different thing in his bag that he didn't have.
28.9% from the field, 28.9, 8.3 from 3.
That's this season.
I'm looking at these season stats from the Lakers right now.
And the thing about Russ and Dave McMenamin afterwards is like, hey, Russ, you're shooting the 3 at 8% this year. Did you think that coming down the stretch in the fourth quarter, shooting threes was it's asked him some questions.
Yeah.
The lack of self-awareness and the stubbornness and the arrogance.
That's another point.
It's really off-putting. It's just not.
That's another point.
Fun. And I went on Rich Eisen when he first signed with the Lakers, and I was like, guys, you can look it up on YouTube. I said, before we eviscerate this man for being a disaster of a basketball player, because that will happen, and it is happening right now. I was like, let's take a second in just the grand scheme of life. He was in the crowd when Shaq was on stage saying, "Can you dig it?" He was like a kid,
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and to UCLA, loses his best friend, honors him his whole career, wins MVP, goes to the finals, it has a Hall of Gold medals, Hall of Fame, building a school in his hometown, game of life. Come on, let's do that.
Yeah.
Now that that's done, what are you doing? Stop turning the ball over and shooting crazy threes. Just calm down, So it's tough with Rex because you want to support the man of who he is. He's amazing. You can't tell a story of basketball without him. But the basketball fan and you guys are like, what are you doing, bro?
We're just asking simple questions, and it's not. He takes it as an attack because we're talking about a game that he plays that we watch. So you're like, oh, it's the media, LeBron. It's the media setting me up. No. That's a fair question. You're up 1. The clock's running down. Westbrook has the ball.
Oh yeah, Portland.
Was that a good shot, LeBron? Yes or no?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
So sometimes in the energy around the game now has shifted a little, which is unfortunate. But there's an ecosystem where fans, media, and players all get to eat.
Facts.
Without media attention, fans aren't as excited. They aren't spending money, which means you're playing in the park for free. So it's just like everybody eats. It's paid in full here, So the idea that a reporter has the audacity to ask you a question about basketball. It's funny. I heard Phil Isola say this, and Randy, you'll appreciate this. Sometimes players would do that. Well, you never played the game, so what do you know? Right?
Yeah.
I have a question. Have you guys ever eaten food in a restaurant? If you haven't been a chef in the kitchen, do you know if it's good or not? How about as a movie critic? If you watch a film, do you have an opinion about it? Well, you've never directed a movie, so what do you know about making movies? If you want to really go down the rabbit hole with that, it's just kind of weird. So I think you can be educated about the game, having not played it at the highest level. You can understand the game of life. Like I said, what this man has done in his community is incredible. What he represents, what he stands for, the people he's uplifted. I genuinely applaud him and celebrate him. I also want to talk some basketball. We're playing basketball, so I can't have it. That's dangerous happening around the game. I don't like it. It's not.
You can't have it both ways. Yeah, you can't have it both ways.
$40 million to play basketball, and I can't ask you a question why'd you turn it over in the fourth quarter?
And I think a lot of people in LA would actually become more comfortable if Russell was forthcoming. If Russell was just like, yo, straight up, I'm playing like trash. I need to play better. I haven't been comfortable in LA playing with AD and LeBron. I need to get better. People be like, fine.
Struggled tonight. Shot wasn't falling. I looked to do other things, but I'm looking at Portland. They're like, be a pro. Don't be an asshole.
Like for me, as a fan, I find it very hard to believe that I see this guy getting 25, 9-9, 28, 10-10 for 4 straight years, come to the Lakers, and then I'm supposed to believe he just forgot how to play basketball, or I it's hard. I mean, obviously you'll see a slow decline in production from everybody goes through that, but to go from here to fucking down here, and it's like, all right, I don't think he's totally lost it. I think it's a team. I think it's, the whole offense, LA, he's got to get out of there, but it's like, who would take him? What team would need a Russell Westbrook type player?
Randy, Scott Brooks couldn't get through to him. Kevin Durant couldn't get through to him. D'Antoni couldn't get through to him. Who was in Washington? Scott Brooks again couldn't get through to him. Now he's with Darvingham. So we have players,
Frank Vogel,
Frank. We have players and coaches. Literally, Kevin Durant spent 7 years. Literally, shout out to Skip Bayless. Literally was like, yo, they don't work together. They don't work together. And he was consistent for 7 years saying that. Guess what happens? Kevin Durant woke up and realized, hey, I can't win with this guy. Like, and then you want to,
but the production was there.
You almost need Russ to like slow down a little, and you need Ben Simmons to like speed up a little. It's like if they can Benjamin Button and just move.
Yeah, just switch. Like, bro.
Like that'd be good. Just like an episode of Big, like the movie Big, but with Russell Westbrook and Ben Simmons like switching bodies.
Yeah.
Need it.
That's just what it is. Everyone's like, Russ, calm down. Everyone's like, Ben, let's go.
Yeah. I even heard the Lakers were interested in Terry Rozier from the Hornets. Obviously, Russell might be kind of combo.
Robinson from Miami.
Hayward, you go do that like today. If you're
Robinson from Miami, I think is a better trade. Robinson from Miami, straight up.
It's wild. Man. Here we are in October, Randy, and the greatest New York Knick of the last 30 years is nowhere to be found. It stinks. It's like.
It's crazy.
And Melo never got into it with the New York media. You never had these spats and microaggressions and passive aggressive. That guy stood out there with the Nick Fouquet top hats and weird Monopoly hats and answered all the questions, And so it's being a pro, right?
Yeah.
I don't appreciate the vitriol towards fans and media for simply being interested in your basketball achievements. Like, stop. So.
Yeah, what is being a good pro get you, right? So you got Melo on the other side, literally had to sit in New York, get badgered, waste his years, literally had to sit back and like, so Melo, so tonight, you had 45, 13, and 2. The rest of the team had 5. So, what's there to look forward to? Just gotta play hard. We could come back, get better. Like
we really relied on Kuzmingas down the stretch. His rosters were crazy, and he never threw those guys. I always loved the photos of the 2014-15 Knicks, right? 16 Knicks on the plane, and it's just like Melo's like this like rock star Hall of Famer, and he's on there with like Ron Baker and Kuzmingas.
It's just, I see Aaron Afalo on here, 15-16. Lou, your favorite Lou Amundsen.
My favorite story from those years was that Kyle O'Quinn fell in love with going to bar mitzvahs in New York City. He had never heard of bar mitzvahs, never been to any, and he found out like, oh wow, these Saturday afternoons with these 13-year-olds are turned up. And it's like, look it up. Look up Kyle O'Quinn bar mitzvahs in New York City. This is
crazy. I got a few random ones.
What do you got, buddy? What do you got? Let's do it.
So it may not be the best player in the league, but who are 5 guys in the league you enjoy watching right now?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. When he comes back healthy, I like Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's a really special player. I saw Ja play 5 times last year, and I don't live in Memphis. So I was really lucky to get to experience that. That felt like going to see like the Beatles or the Grateful Dead on tour or something. So John and Jaren Jackson down in Memphis are a lot of fun. It's been cool, honestly, as a Michigan guy, to see in the last 10 years Franz Wagner and Mo Wagner and Jordan Poole, and like there's Glenn Robinson III. There's just more Michigan guys, Karis LeVert, out there, Duncan Robinson, Stauskas in and out of the league. So just like keeping my tabs on the Michigan guys.
Hardaway Jr.
Hardaway Jr. Once a Knick, always twice a Knick, always a Knick, right?
That's right.
So yeah, it's nice. It's nice seeing those guys. And then honestly, guys, I equate it to my love of music, where I'm a huge hip hop fan, but 9 times out of 10, going to your favorite rapper show is super disappointing. Like it's just a bunch of dudes on stage, a bunch of
performance.
Mike sucks. Like it just
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it just sucks, right? So like I genuinely love going to see massive pop stars. Katy Perry, Bruno Mars, go see iconic bands like Genesis or Earth, Wind and Fire, or I recently just saw the Gypsy Kings. Like these people have been playing music at the highest level around the world for 40 years, right? So, and the pop music, you're like, I'm not a Katy Perry fan, but in spin class, I'll take it into high gear. Sure, why not? Like there's an art to it, right? So if you get the chance to go see the icons of the sport, if you get to go watch Chris Paul, I saw him get his 11,000th assist the other night at Crypto. To get to go see Devin Booker, to get to go see Damian Lillard, to save your money for the one Knick game you go to a year. Don't spend it on Orlando because you love Cole Anthony and Mo Bamba. Go and see like an icon. Go see Giannis play. It's just like a whole. That is really cool in sports. I got to see Serena this year at the Open. I got a call from a friend last minute. I got 2 tickets for you in the last row. Do you want to go? I was like, absolutely. I needed
damn right.
Yeah, I needed a boarding pass on a Delta flight to get to my seat, but it was worth it, like just to be in the building. I saw Tom Brady throw a touchdown pass at SoFi last year. So the question, like the icons of the sport now, as we're saying goodbye to Chris Paul, as we're saying goodbye to LeBron, as we're saying, that's really cool. I like keeping tabs on the legends who are still doing it.
So you got Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, and that Memphis squad down there is a lot of fun. Desmond Bane, who's just like he's made out of stone.
He doesn't make sense. Yeah. Like him as a basketball player doesn't make sense. He's not.
He sounds like one of Elon Musk's kids. He's like, "Hi, I'm PX90 or P90X." Like that's what
Desmond Bane. He doesn't. As a basketball player, he doesn't make sense because he's 6 foot, if that. He's 6 foot. I was saying that on one of my things I was doing videos. I said he's taking step back threes on 7-footers.
Wow. It's wild. They're really special. They're a lot of fun.
He's pure. Taking step back threes on 7-footers. I was like, wow, yeah, he's different.
I think if I had to pick 5, D Booker, Giannis, Durant, Dame, and Luka probably the 5.
Yeah. I mean, I love Trey.
I know anytime they're on, I'm watching it.
I love Trey and I love Curry. I love Trey though. Trey makes me warm.
There's too many. There's too many to pick.
Yeah. There are young guys in the league, that's for sure. But I got Booker, LeBron, Jaren Jackson, Jordan Poole, and once a Knick, always a Knick, Langston Galloway. I think he's in Indiana now.
I think he's in Indiana. Yeah. Jordan Poole is special, man.
No, man, it's a really unfortunate situation with him, but the way he handled it, the way they took care of him.
Here's a perfect question to ask you. It's a perfect question. Segue.
Yeah.
You've played basketball for a period of time, and you've seen some things. You've seen many of basketball games, players, etc. Have you seen a player get punched in the face?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I have in the park.
See, there you go.
I've seen it in an actual game or practice. We never had that, but I've seen it in the park.
I've seen,
It's violent, man. It's not pleasant. And, I can only imagine what the aftermath was like. That video cuts out, the post game or the post practice, like would have been nuts. And it's unfortunate. And it's a shame that Draymond is defined throughout his career by so many just embarrassing moments of lack of self-control that it's only the Warriors that I think could navigate it. I think it's only the Warriors and Bob Myers and Steve Kerr and just the whole gang there. It goes down to Raymond Ritter, their PR director. Like they are a well-oiled machine and a culture that's real. And so, like, I did a voting thing in 2018 with Rock the Vote, and we partnered with the Warriors. And we went to practice and we talked to the guys about voting, and we shot a PSA, and we registered not only the players, but 70 employees had to re-register, come down from the marketing office. And the vibe I got, and this is when they were still practicing in Oakland and stuff, was, oh, this strength in numbers, this Warriors family thing is very real. Like, I was there with Elsa Collins, whose husband Jaron was the coach, and so she knew everybody. And it just was, and winning does that, right? But I think another culture, another around the NBA, another team, another situation, maybe even Brooklyn, right? That happens, whole thing is just a disaster.
Well, I don't expect him to be back, obviously, next year, for a bunch of reasons. Obviously, that's one of them.
You don't see the Warriors getting out of the West. You got
no. Hear me. I have them winning. I have them winning the chip again.
Oh, the chip, the Warriors. You got Warriors back to back. Okay.
I got Warriors back to back. I don't feel that Draymond's gonna be back next year.
Right.
That's what I feel like when you
feel like he's destined to a life of Book of Mormon. You know that play? Did you ever see it?
Yes.
Orlando.
Yo, when you have a history of challenging a head coach to a fight in the middle of the playoffs and 10 guys have to hold you back, then you fight the opposing team's best player and get suspended from a game, which for a lot of people they say they cost them the Golden State series. Then you punch one of your teammates. It's like the line is drawn.
Yeah, I got a question. Speaking of lines drawn, like, where do you draw the line on suspending Draymond because he punched his teammate in the face, right? Like, Latrell Sprewell choked his coach, and he lost like
the whole season,
millions of dollars a whole season. Like, got traded. Like what the hell?
That's what I think Steve Kerr said. Steve Kerr sat down and said to himself, I'll take this ring this year, but he's not coming back next year. I think that's what he basically decided to do himself. I think he just was like, you know what? For me, I said, suspend him the first 25 games. That's what I said. I said, suspend him for 25 games. See ya. And then evaluate.
5 or 10. I would have done 5 games.
Some games, though. Some games.
For sure. Or even don't suspend him. Just don't play him. Like, make him come out there and you don't have to suspend him, no message, that kind of stuff. Just be like, yo, dog, you're not playing the first.
You're not playing. That's it. Yeah, and that would have.
It's not going to impact our season one way or another. 5 games, but we're going to sit in this for a second,
right? And I think if this was in the middle of the season, there would have been suspension. The fact that it was opening night, ring night, and everything. Like, we're going to suspend everybody, but where's Draymond Green?
Ship him his ring. We know where he is. Ship him his ring. He's not allowed to be here.
Yeah, sometimes you do things in life that unfortunately means you don't get to do other things. And
boom.
It's like for him to show, like, have like a documentary about you.
Bro.
Again,
I didn't know. I didn't know this would be a big thing. I thought. And I'm like, come on, Draymond.
Yeah. Well, Poole got his money. Wiggins got his money.
Michigan hit the shot. You know what I mean?
Wiggins got the bread too. So congrats to them. You mentioned documentary. I'll be remiss if I don't ask you because you're a Knicks fan. Did you see that Jeremy Lin documentary yet?
Trayvon Free did a wonderful job. A director who put that together, won an Oscar a few years back for a short, and it's really nice to see Jeremy kind of at peace with that time in his life because it was so memorable and crazy. It's the most fun I've ever had as a Knicks fan, and my Laker fans make fun of me for that, right? But that Friday night against the Lakers when he went for 38 is just the greatest.
Do you think he can still play in the league right now?
After experiencing Linsanity, I think he's the closest thing we have to a wizard. He's a Harry Potter. He's a Hogwarts. He went to Harvard, Hogwarts. Like he's magic. Like, sure, why not? I'll never put anything past Jeremy Lin again. No, but that was like he's on the cover of Sports Illustrated 2 weeks in a row. Like, I gotta grab.
Well, there's not too many people that did what he did. There's not too many people that did what he did.
It's the craziest thing that's ever happened in basketball, man.
Right.
I mean, come on, we got it hanging up on the kitchen here. Like,
Oh boy!
Wow, that's fire!
Wow, Kobe, who? Come on, man.
But that was the story, right? That was the
Yeah.
story. He said, Kobe was like, I don't know who that is. Who's that? Because
Kobe, wow,
The
bro.
guy who dropped 34 on you, Kobe. It's the guy who dropped 34 on you.
No, they asked Kobe, "Yo, have you been seeing?" He said, "Bro, I don't know what he's been doing. I don't know who he is."
He was mad. He was mad.
Well, I have the best story for that night. So I got to send you the video, Randy. I shot it on a flip cam. Okay. Right.
Wow.
So I was about the time period. And the Knicks were on the blue carpet. It was like the Chase blue carpet or something. Right. So I run out there. I'm interviewing Ben Stiller and Larry Johnson and all the people. It was like the whole Knicks thing. Right. The Rock was there that night. Right. I got tickets for Idris Elba. He sat next to James Dolan. They put Stringer Bell on the Jumbotron in the second half. Place went crazy, right?
And this way you told me you and Rosenberg took Ashanti seat.
We got shot. I told you the story then. Yeah, Ashanti sang the national anthem. God bless her. And she said, "You know what? I'm Ashanti. I deserve to sit in the front row." The Knicks gave me second row tickets. I'm out there. Me and Rosenberg were like, "Yep, we'll take those." Ashanti, God bless you. I love you. And it was the greatest night ever. Like, honestly, I got to send you the video. And it didn't make the film, but Trayvon did a wonderful job with the movie. And it's cool that, the stories from recent years, 10 years ago, are now being, defined our sports fandom, are now being immortalized in film. So not the first Jeremy Lin documentary. There was another one about him.
Yeah.
A focus on his faith and things like that. What a basketball journey, man. Like, remember when, I think Amari came at him for wearing braids, and he was like, "Well, I see you with those tattoos, so let's have a conversation, dog."
Amari.
It's really cool that he's been able to impact the game at the global level, and I love Jeremy. I went down to the game with Fat Jew in Washington the Wednesday before the rematch with John Wall, the Summer League rematch. So that was what really set it off. Like, he just, man, you guys have been around the game, Blanco. It doesn't make any sense that for 11 days he was the greatest player since Jesus Christ. Like, it just doesn't make any
everything
sense.
he threw up went in, every pass, and what's unfortunately, unfortunately, everything in me during that time, I just screamed, "Damn it, Melo, you should have been better. Damn it."
Melo was kind of like Melo was like he was on the Olympic plane when they're all singing like Vanessa Carlton and he's sitting there. That's what he was during insanity.
He did not enjoy that time at all, even when they were winning.
He's like, "All right, cool. This is cute. I'm Melo. I got a vineyard to go by."
Hey, well, that could be one more guy you can kind of help us. I would love to get Melo on the show sometime. Everybody else.
Free time. He's got some free time right now.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
No, all right. So we got Michael Rapaport, who I actually acted opposite. Michael Rapaport played Bill Fitch, and I played a young Rick Carlisle in a movie called Blackjack, the Jackie Ryan story. Shout out to Danny A.
Wow.
I acted with Mike Rapp.
I can see the
Mike
Rick Carlisle.
It's so funny. Mike Rapp was in the green room, my on-air audition at the E! Channel. I'm 24 years old. It's 2006. I'm in the green room. I'm nervous. I got to go review a movie. I'm in my head. And Michael Rapaport's in the green room. And I'm just like, "Oh, what's up, man? Cool. I'm a big fan of your work." I didn't know him at the time. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I'm reviewing movies. I'm 25. And he's like, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, what do you know? I was just, oh my God. Like, but become friends over the years. He's crazy. So let's get Mike on the show. Let's get Jerry on the show. And maybe Jerry will call Lala and we'll get Melo. We'll figure it out.
I think Mike Rapp says a curse every 5 words. Like, I can picture him saying, "Who the fuck are you?" Like, just,
that's like movies. Like, how old are you? Like, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Right, it's Mike.
Right. I got 2 more. Denny, what you got?
No, all you, Randy, talk. All you.
Ben, give me your top 5 sports movies. If you want, you can also give me top 5 basketball movies. I know you're a big movie buff.
Okay, these are ones that just come into my head right now. Okay, so one's called Chi-Town. It's the story of Kiefer Sykes, documentary. He plays now in the NBA, but this kid in high school and college went through more than any young man should ever have to deal with. And when you see
Chicago Chi-Town,
see him playing the NBA now, you're like, what? directed by Nick Budaban. Chi-Town, slept on basketball documentary. He Got Game is my favorite basketball film. It still holds up. La La Bonilla forever.
Over White Man Can't Jump.
Nice.
White Man Can't Jump's fun as it's above the rim. So those are the 4.
Okay.
And then Hoop Dreams obviously is
phenomenal.
so ahead of its time. To be able to shoot that much footage back then was really challenging. The directors had to max out their credit cards. They went into debt, all these things. Now we just shot an hour and 10-minute content for nothing. You know what I mean? So It's totally different. And that movie, and while those kids didn't ultimately make it to life in the NBA, they make it in the game of life, and it's a really beautiful story. So He Got Game, White Man Can't Jump, Above the Rim, Chi-Town, and Hoop Dreams. We got to get something in there for the women. I'm working on a project now. It's based on the dawn of women's basketball here in America, and I hope to bring that to the big screen very soon because we need some stories for these W ladies as well because they're the best.
Did you see the Point God documentary?
Yeah, that Rich Kleiman and Kevin Durant did about New York City point guards. Like, I love it. It was like just a shout out to Booger Smith and to Rayford and to all these guys that meant something to the game growing up. Sham God that we all love, and yeah, that was a good one that came out this year. And another one that's awesome if you're like into basketball films and you want some deep cuts. It's called The Other Dream Team. It's the story of the 92 Lithuanian Olympic team that won the bronze medal. And they had those Grateful Dead T-shirts, the tie-dye shirts, and it's Sharunas Marciulionis and Arvydas Sabonis and those guys. It's a really cool The Other Dream Team.
I've been catching up on the Lakers legacy on Hulu. I gotta catch up on the Redeem Team documentary on Netflix. So I'm making.
And I'm very excited to hear the rumblings of. It's called the Steve Francis Years at Madison Square Garden. It's gonna be a great 4-part documentary about what it was like to have Steve Francis. And this is so. Come on, like you said, the legacy, like 10 hours of Lakers greatness, and we're just like. We get Catino Mobley and Steve Francis.
Shout out Steve Francis, by the way.
I saw Steve Francis at a party All-Star Weekend, and I was like, oh, man, he's not doing too great. And he comes up to me and goes, I got a question for you. What is a podcast? And I was like, oh, boy. You're going to go well. Buddy.
That's the norm. Everybody got a platform. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to see if he does one. So my second to last question is you're a high profile celebrity, whether you want to
that 275 gets you on the subway, Randy.
Hey, you're a big time Knicks fan, but if you had to pick, I don't want to say 10, let's say 5, the top 5 biggest celebrity New York Knicks fans out there.
All right. Let's get this right. This is this. All right,
because we see them every game.
It starts with Spike, and what's dope about Spike is Knicks now have all these amazing places in the Garden where at halftime you can grab a drink, you can grab some sushi, you can go on. Spike never does any of that. He sits out there at halftime and talks to the refs and watches the halftime performance, talks to players. Like, he is there for the game. So Spike Lee, number one, like, obviously, right?
Yes.
Ben Schwartz, Sonic the Hedgehog. Sneaky Knick fan. People know him from Parks and Rec. People know him as like a voice from Star Wars. He's the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog. Ben Schwartz always wants to in LA. Hey, you want to go shoot around and catch up? I'm like, can we play 1-on-1? Like, can I get a sweat? Can we kind of get a 5-on-5? Like, should we get a run? He's like, let's just shoot around. I'm like, it's a very Hollywood thing to do.
Play 21 real quick.
Not Mike Rapaport. Mike Rapaport is off the list for Knicks fans. He is, because this man is out here with the brooms, like sweeping LeBron and rooting for the Warriors. And it's just like, he's just too much into basketball now to like live and die with the Knicks. Like, I don't really even associate Mike Rapp with the Knicks anymore.
Wow.
Jerry Ferrara, he's real. He gets very stressed out in December games against Minnesota. He's like, so much anxiety. So we got Jerry, Spike, Ben Schwartz. I'll give Brian Greenberg the nod. He was there last night hanging out with Ronnie Kith, like doing the Fly Guy thing. Brian just had some twins, so still making a night out at the Garden when you got Jamie at home watching the babies. Like, I respect it. That's a tough move, right? And then
Greenberg, that's a guy from How to Make It in America?
Yeah. Brian's How to Make It in America and a bunch of indies over the years and stuff. He's a good dude. So Brian gets a shout right now. And you know what? Donald Faison. We played a game of Amari once out in LA, which is horse, and we had another letter for the apostrophe. Donald Faison, real Knick fan, had Amari on his show. Like, so that's my 5 right now.
Wow. I'm trying to think of like Tracy Morgan, Chris Rock, Fat Joe. Like,
Fat Joe. You know what? Fat Joe, he's really stepped it up. Yeah, Fat Joe is serious with the Knicks. I respect that too. A lot of guys went out to Brooklyn and did that thing. I'll give Fat Joe now. Let's lose Donald Faison. Also, Donald Faison hasn't had a TV show in like 10 years, so he doesn't get a shout.
Was that retaliation from Mike Rapp telling you who the fuck
are
you?
Exactly. As I'm still traumatized from my E-channel audition. So
right. Last one before I let you go. You told me off the air that you're what you got working on now. What's in the works? So I know you've done E Television, you've done ESPN LA, CBS LA, had your own podcast, Once in a Blue Moon. And so what's in the works for now for Ben Lyons?
Yeah, and I appreciate it, man. I love sports storytelling. Like, that's my thing. I'm not trying to react necessarily to the highlights. I'm not going to put on a suit and tie and talk about sports. I'm not in the locker room with a scrum. There's an art to all of that. I love the stories. I love the human element. I love to have fun and be joyful. So for me, it's about producing, hosting, and finding ways to tell those stories. So I mentioned a basketball project that I'm producing that's going to be coming out soon. There's 2 of those in the scripted space, real life stories that have happened, and now we're going to fictionalize them and tell them like they did Showtime, right? So the Lakers here, winning time. So that's one thing, producing and finding great sports stories. But in hosting, I'm going to be doing something coming with Amazon starting next week. You'll see it.
Nice.
Working on it for a year. We'll leave it at that. Very excited. Very much looking forward to telling sports stories in a global way. As much as we love the NBA, which is a global sport now, and as much as we love the NFL and these sports here in America, there's a whole world, man, of Premier League and golf and tennis and Formula One. We're seeing, 500,000 people down in Austin over the weekend. So I love trying to find global sports stories, and we're going to be doing that starting next week. And I'll leave it at that. I'll get
nice
for a second.
Nice.
Call my agent for the rest. Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Denny Blanco, any more?
Nah, man, we good. We got all we needed to get from Ben today. He's going to, I think, from earlier.
Stoudemire, the Knicks are back. There it is.
Right.
From earlier, the whisper.
Oh, he was dressed like he was shopping at Men's Warehouse when he said the Knicks are back, right? He was wearing his cell phone on his belt. And then at the end, he's got, he looks like Lenny Kravitz on acid. He's got like a cut-off jean jacket with fur and like sunglasses.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what happened tomorrow?
We got everything we can get from Ben. Ben said, Randy, he's gonna send some more guests our way.
Yes, Celebrity Masekela, Jerry Ferrara. We'll get Mike Rapp, and you guys can figure out Mello.
Look.
Mello, you let me call in. How about that? Yeah.
Look, there we go. There we go, Randy.
Yes, sir. Denny Blanco on IG and Twitter at Sir Denny Blanco. Ben Lyons at I am Ben Lyons on Twitter and Instagram. Myself, Randy J. Cruz, RANDY, the letter J, CRUZ on both IG and Twitter. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Also on ballislife.com. If you want to watch the podcast, go to youtube.com/ballislifepodcast. Network, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love to the program. Ben Lyons, my man, love you, bro.
Consistency, man. You guys are consistent with this. You always show love. I appreciate you. Sorry if I get a little Hollywood sometimes making it happen, but I really respect and admire the hustle. Honestly, to do this at the level you're doing at, to watch this thing grow. Big fan. So congratulations and keep it up.
Thank you, man. Definitely appreciate that.
Ben Lyons, Bull is life.
Yes, sir.
You out, Blanco. Yeah. Peace.
Yes, sir.